everyone, my name is Japneet Kaur and welcome back to This in Canada. I hope you're all happy, healthy and fine. In this video, I will give you my very honest review and feedback on University of Waterloo. As you guys know that I have completed Masters in Engineering from University of Waterloo and I want to give my honest review and honest feedback on University of Waterloo. So we will discuss about pros and cons of studying in University of Waterloo. So if you are planning to come to University of Waterloo or you already have offer letter from University of Waterloo, this video will help you a lot. And I also want to tell you guys that when I will be discussing about the cons of University of Waterloo, that is disadvantages of University of Waterloo, don't get demotivated. It is just my opinion. Every university will have some advantages and some disadvantages. So don't get scared or don't get nervous. You should apply to University of Waterloo, and if you have offer letter, you should come to University of Waterloo for your future studies. So now let's begin our video. Now let's first quickly discuss about what are the good things of University of Waterloo. When I came to Canada from India, I didn't know that University of Waterloo is so reputed in Canada. From India, I only knew that it is a good university, but I didn't know that it is so much regarded in Canada. When I came to Canada, I opened my bank account and the manager asked me in which university you are getting started. I told him University of Waterloo and he was so surprised and he said that it is a very good university in Canada and it is a difficult university to get in, and to do engineering from University of Waterloo is a big thing. And when I went to Waterloo to look for apartment, so Waterloo not only have University of Waterloo, there is another university, Laurier University, and also Conestoga College. Those college and universities are also very good. But when I was looking for apartment, and whoever was showing me the apartment, they used to ask me, oh, which school you are going to? I said University of Waterloo, and they were like, wow, you are going to University of Waterloo. It is a very good university, very reputed university. So the first good thing about University of Waterloo is that it has a name. It has an establishment in Canada. Wherever you go in Canada, maybe in Ontario, British Columbia, Alberta, it has its name. Everybody knows about University of Waterloo. It has a very good reputation. It has very strong foundation in Canada. And the second good thing about University of Waterloo is that it has a big campus. So there is tall buildings, glass buildings, newly constructed buildings in University of Waterloo. It's such a big campus that you need map. You need somebody to tell you where to go from one. In the beginning of every semester, I used to go one day before to University of Waterloo to look for my class because it's such a big university. It's a huge campus. Beautiful campus, you will love it. It has such an amazing infrastructure. The buildings, the newly constructed buildings are made of modern design, and also they have very big libraries. There are many libraries in University of Waterloo which have lots of books. There are many other provisions like gym, playing ground, fields and basketball court. Like there's whole another building for all these activities. And the third good thing about University of Waterloo is that they put a lot of effort on mental health and awareness for students. Studies are very hard, there's lot of competition and students are very stressed. If you are facing any difficulty, maybe mental or maybe physical, they will guide you. There are advisors in University of Waterloo which will guide you, which will talk to you. Even during COVID, I have seen on their website that there are advisors, there are people who can talk to students if they are feeling any kind of mental pressure. So University of Waterloo always invest a lot of money and time on mental health awareness. And not only mental health, they also have provision and seminars and workshops for women health and many other student activities. I also had participated in leadership workshop. You have to attend certain number of leadership workshops and it is very good. And those leadership workshops were so good because you can learn about technical stuff in your courses, right? In your other courses, in your engineering courses. But the leadership value, sales value, business value, you need to also have these kind of skills within you, right? And these skills are very important in the actual world when you will be working in a company. Technical skills are important, but other skills are also very important, like interacting with people, working in groups. So I also got chance to attend those workshops, and if you attend certain number of workshops, they also give you some kind of certificate at the end of that workshops. So I think it's a very good initiative. There are lots of programs and lot of activities, student activities happening within the University of Waterloo. And if you have to participate in all those activities, I think it will be very difficult. So choose what you like, look around, look about the groups, activities which are happening within the campus. I know right now it is difficult because of the pandemic, but whenever things will get open, do take advantage of all the activities, all the student involvement happening within University of Waterloo. And the next good thing about University of Waterloo is its co-op opportunities, that is co-op placement. And we can all agree that the University of Waterloo has best co-op placements. Before every term at University of Waterloo, they give schedule of all the big companies which are coming to University of Waterloo. So there are certain time slots given to each big companies, and they come at that time, and students can go and attend those seminars of big companies, and they can interact with the either human resource or some sort of manager of those companies. So it is a very good initiative by University of Waterloo. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, RBC, CIBC, and there was so many big names companies who comes to University of Waterloo, and they recruit students from University of Waterloo. And the next good thing about University of Waterloo is that although they charge a fixed amount of transportation cost beforehand in the fees, it is still very cheaper than getting the bus pass every month. So University of Waterloo will give you an ID card, right? You can use that ID card and you can travel all over Waterloo, Kitchener and Cambridge. These are the twice cities and they are very close to each. So the transportation cost for all these three cities are free of cost for the student if you have your Waterloo ID card. For sure, they charge some amount of fees every semester, but still it is very useful, and you can even use that ID card even if you are not currently enrolled. And the last good thing about University of Waterloo is that actually it is not related to university itself, but as you know that University of Waterloo is in Waterloo city. It is a small city, it is a small town, so the living cost is way cheaper than big cities like Toronto, Ottawa or any other city. Also Waterloo city, because it's very small, you will not waste a lot of time during transportation. You will either live very close to University of Waterloo or at a distance of like 5-10 minutes. So it is a very good thing that you will be living in a small town. And now let's move forward to what are disadvantages of studying at University of Waterloo. Again, I will repeat myself. If you are planning to come to University of Waterloo, or if you have already got offer letter from University of Waterloo, don't get demotivated after listening these disadvantages. Every university you will go, whether it's University of Waterloo or not, it will have some kind of disadvantages associated with it. It is better to know about them early before you are starting, and then try to balance it out if you can, but don't get demotivated. You should apply to University of Waterloo. You should come to University of Waterloo for studies. So the first disadvantage in my personal experience is that there is lot of depression at University of Waterloo. It is very stressful. There is lot of pressure of assignments, of midterms, of final exams, of projects. Everything together becomes so stressful at University of Waterloo. There would be times that I will not see any student smiling or laughing or are happy in journal. They all have sad faces, and especially during final terms or midterms, libraries are jam-packed. You will not get a single seat. And guess what? Mostly semesters are of 3-4 months, and during that months there are exams, there are assignments, there are so many things going on. And as a result, students don't get time to socialize much. They just meet each other in the beginning of each term. They have parties and everything, but as the term progresses, the social life does get impacted. And it is very sad to see and very sad to live, especially as an international student. Like, I didn't have anybody in Canada where I can go on vacation or go during weekend to their house or get interacted, right? Especially when you are a master's student, you have limited time to complete your master's. For undergrad student, you can get habit. 1 year maybe it will be difficult for you, but the other years it can become easier for you. Then you get the habit of living in University of Waterloo. So it is definitely a lot of pressure to study at University of Waterloo. And the second thing is that why it is so difficult is because competition is very high. We always discuss in our video that competition is very high to get into University of Waterloo. But to survive University of Waterloo also, competition is very high over there. Students are competing among themselves. I don't understand why, but I think for the reason that you can't just copy each other assignments or you can't copy each other work, right? Because plagiarism is an offense at University of Waterloo. But apart from that as well, students are very competitive among themselves. I'm not saying about everyone, but yes, there is some kind of competition among students. Everybody is competing to get good jobs. Everybody is competing to get good grades. When I was in masters and there were PhD students with us, they will never speak. Most of the PhD students will not talk to us. They know that we will ask for advice, we will ask for help because they are PhD students and we are just starting out our masters. And they are also true at their part, right? Because PhD is very difficult to do. These things you have to keep in mind. It can get lonely sometimes, it can get depressed sometimes, it can get very emotional sometimes. You can feel very emotional when there are not many people around you. You will feel lonely, you will feel kind of not getting along with many people over there because they are all very intelligent people. Now this is also a thing, right? When you get admission in University of Waterloo, again this is only my personal experience and I'm sharing what I have seen in University of Waterloo. It might not be true for you or you might not have faced that if you have already graduated from University of Waterloo. So keep this thing in mind, but also be prepared that there would be some days when you will feel lonely and you will feel that you are not doing enough, but you are doing enough. Trust me, you are doing enough. It is just that everybody is in a race and everybody wants to win, right? The other thing is that, as I have told in the advantages section of studying at University of Waterloo, the co-op placement. But my program didn't have co-op placement or co-op opportunity. I think this is a disadvantage for most of the master's program that they don't have co-op opportunity. I feel like University of Waterloo should at least give a chance for other master's students to get a co-op place and start their job experience, because for masters it's very important. And only few master programs have co-op opportunities with itself. But my program didn't, and I feel this is a disadvantage. But this disadvantage is only for the students who doesn't have co-op program. But otherwise, co-op program, co-op placement, co-op opportunities is huge in University of Waterloo. And the last disadvantage, which is not related to university but related to Waterloo city, is that the lease problem. So what does that mean? When you are looking for housing, mostly every apartment will tell you to sign a lease for 1 year. But sometimes you don't want to sign a lease for 1 year. It is difficult to get lease for either 4 months or 8 months because it's a student area. They know that students need housing. They will live at least for 1 year. So there is just a problem of lease and agreement at Waterloo city. You don't get this kind of problem maybe in Toronto or other cities, right? There are sublet opportunities available at Waterloo city, but they are also limited and it is mostly during summer season. But other terms like fall, winter, you either have to go for 1 year lease or you have to really look for a 4-month or 8-month apartment or housing. When I completed my studies and I was looking for a full-time job, I don't want to sign a lease for 1 year. It doesn't make sense. If I didn't get job in Waterloo, I have to move to other city. Like I moved to Toronto. Then signing a lease for 1 year is a very expensive agreement, right? I didn't find a house or apartment for 4 months. It was so difficult. It was very difficult to find an apartment or a house for 4 months lease. And my lease was ending at my old apartment and I have to move within 1 week. And luckily, just 1 week before I have to move, I found a house for 4 months. Otherwise, it was very difficult to get a short-term lease agreement. So now all the advantages and disadvantages are in front of you. Definitely studying at University of Waterloo has more advantages than disadvantages. But again, every university will have some kind of advantage or disadvantage. In nutshell, I can say the University of Waterloo is very good, reputed co-op placement. It is a very good university for everything, and for engineering especially, it is a very well recognized university. There are few disadvantages regarding the social life and everything, but I think once your degree is over, or if you have a good friend circle, you can overcome it very easily. I hope you like this video. I hope you like my review on University of Waterloo. Which other videos you want to see in future, let me know. Write down in the comment section, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, share with your friends and family, and please hit that like button because it will really help me and really encourage me to make more such videos. And I will see you in my next video. Till then, take care and bye bye.